Hi guys, I am Vignesh. Now we are going to convert this 3D model into an orthographic projections like a three different kind of views: top views, front view and side view. Look at this model. There is some kind of an arrow mark clearly indicates the directions of these views in details. First look at this overall dimensions as well as the projections of this area. Now I start to model from the front plane itself, that is an front view itself. Go to the AutoCAD and draw a rectangular profile. Before that, we need to set the units also. So first type a command of UN in the command line. After that, precision is nothing but 0.0 and the units is millimeter. Once we set the units, now I am going to draw one simple rectangular profile at the particular positions. So type a command of REC and position some of its points and choose a dimensions type. Now the dimensions of this overall rectangular profile, that is the total dimensions of this solid body is 100 mm length, 75 mm width. Use the same kind of dimensions to draw in this area. 100 mm length, 75 mm width. Once we draw the profile, next I position at the top end of this quadrant area. The overall rectangle profile is clearly drawn at the particular locations. Let's draw a rest of this portion, that is an pocket area on the front zone as well as the bottom zone. First, choose another rectangular profile. Start from this particular zone. Here if you see from the front zone, there we only able to draw one rectangular profile at the particular end. So choose this right corner end and draw a rectangular profile. 30 mm length and 25 mm width. That is an horizontal dimensions as well as a vertical dimensions. So choose the dimensions type. The length is 30 mm, then the width is 25 mm. Once we draw a rectangular profile at the right end, now I need to draw another profile at the left end. Instead of that, just using a mirror entities, selecting this profile, start from its particular point, then mirror this portions from right end to left end. From the front view, we can able to see these two different rectangular profile clearly. Next, look at the top portions. There is another rectangular profile indicates the pocket portions. So instead of drawing a rectangle, first I choose a line profile, need to offset from its particular portions called 25 mm. So using a line, mention a 25 mm horizontally, again draw one vertical line profile. What it means? 40 mm vertical directions. So once we specify position the cursor, then mention 40 mm vertically. The horizontal dimensions is also the same kind of a 50 mm. 100 minus 25, 25. Overall 50 mm. So mention 50 mm horizontally and the vertical dimensions is 40 mm. Now the pocket is also determined clearly in the visible areas. Next we need to draw non-visible portions. That is look at this side area. There is a rectangular pocket portions under this overall solid body. Now draw these areas also. First, selecting this right hand corner, draw one vertical line. It is nothing but the dimensions of 10 mm vertically. So mention 10 mm now. And draw one horizontal line profile up to the distance of 30 mm. Same as like how it is represented on this 3D model drawings itself. So mention 30 mm horizontal line profile. It is also mirror from one portions to another portions. So using mirror entities, type a command of mi in a command line and choose this right and horizontal line profiles, enter it, start from its midpoint and mirror this portion from right end to left end. Same as like drawing another horizontal line profile. It is just to represent the another horizontal edges. Look at this edges, this is represent on the front zone itself. So using a line connecting both endpoint. Now we are going to transfer some of its line profile to represent like a non-visible edges called hidden lines. Go to this line properties and choose others. Afterwards go to load and select this dashes lines. Insert it. OK. Now selecting both the line profile. Again go to the line type, selecting this dashes lines. It scales under different kind of ratios. So go to the properties. Under this line style, line scale, I am going to change the ratio of that 0.15 mm. Once I change the ratio, automatically the line type gets OK. Now the front view is clearly drawn. The visible edges are just to look like an outer portions. The non-visible areas, that is two hidden lines, are just to represent this particular pocket portions. Look at that, from the rectangular front end sections, we cannot able to see this edges itself. That's why it is replicate like a non-visible areas, hidden lines. Okay, let's draw a top view from this front portions. Before that, I am going to choose a construction line, type a command of Excel and using a vertical type to set two opposite limit. Using this alignment, we can easily to draw another profile. From the particular point, let's draw a rectangular profile. The overall dimensions for this horizontal length is 100 mm, then the vertical length is 40 mm. In the rectangle, I prefer length type as 100 mm and the width is 40 mm. So select the dimensions and give the value 100 mm length, 40 mm width. Position it, then delete the two opposite line profiles because it is only for a reference purpose for the making an alignment at the right ratios. Once we draw a rectangle profile, now I am going to project the bottom rectangular portions. Look at the bottom rectangular profiles. It is exactly shown at the particular edges itself from the end portions of the 40 mm. What is the horizontal dimensions is 30 mm. Then the vertical dimensions is 65 minus 40, we get a 25 mm. So draw a profile using that. Now selecting this particular point and go to the dimensions. The horizontal dimension is nothing but 30 mm. So mention 30 mm on the category. Then the vertical dimensions is 25 mm. Also position at bottom to this area. It is also mirrored from left to right. So using a mirror entities, selecting this profile, enter that from the midpoint, draw a vertical reference lines. It is exactly projected next to its areas. Now, once we draw our two opposite rectangular profiles, let's indicate the pocket portions. The top pocket portions which is clearly indicated in a visible lines itself. So, using a line profile, the horizontal dimensions is nothing but 25 mm. So, mention 25 mm horizontally. Again, draw one vertical line. It is just to represent like a visible edges with a distance of 20 mm. Then the horizontal line is 50 mm. That is in pocket portions. Again, the vertical line is 20 mm. So, mention 20 mm on these areas. Once you draw a profile, let's compare this with this reference lines. Using a construction line, I am going to point out two opposite ends if it is clearly projected on the top end or not. The evaluation is clear, it is projected on the right way itself. Now the top pocket portions is clearly indicated. Next, to look at the bottom portions, there is some kind of non-visible areas lies behind that. So let's draw a vertical line as a reference one with a distance of 12 mm. Mention 12 mm. Again, draw one horizontal line profile up to the next of its point with a distance of 100 mm. It covers the entire body. Again, draw one another line profile. It is one of the non-visible edges, clearly indicates the bottom of its area. Again, draw one another line profile. So using a line from its top end, mention the same kind of a vertical dimensions called 12 mm. Initiate 12 mm. Again, draw one horizontal line. Here I am going to draw a complete profile. After that, we just trim this particular portions itself. Type a command of tr, enter that and choose this particular one to remove it. Now we need to clearly indicate what is the visible areas, what is the non-visible areas. This bottom edges is a non-visible areas, also the top line. So let's change its property now. Go to match properties, select this particular property which we want to transfer from one portions to another portions. Now selecting these two opposite line profiles. These are the non-visible areas and some of the areas are visible one. Clearly indicates that. Based on the front view as well as the top view, let's draw a right hand view. If you want to draw a profile from the first angle projection means, here you have a different kind of a specifications. If you see from the right hand sections, you need to draw a left hand profiles. If you see from the left hand sections, you need to draw a right hand profiles. But in third angle projections, if you see from the right hand, you can draw from the right hand itself. That is the difference of it. First, to draw on vertical line, it is nothing but the dimensions of 75 mm. Once we draw a line profile, from the alignment, just to delete this excess portions. That is an construction line. Now it is in alignment itself. Let's draw a profile. The horizontal line is nothing but 40 mm. It is exactly look like an L-shaped formations. So draw one horizontal line with a distance of 40 mm. Then the vertical line is also just to minus the values of 75 minus 25, we get the value of 50 mm. Mention 50 mm on the category. Again, draw one horizontal line profile. It is nothing but the dimensions of 25 mm. Look at the portions. 65 minus 40, what is the values? 25 mm. So mention 25 mm on the area. Again, draw one vertical line. It is also same as like a dimensions of 25 mm. The horizontal line is 12 mm. Mention that. Then the vertical line dimensions is 10 mm. Based on the 3D model drawing, I clearly drawn these three different types of 2D projections itself. The horizontal line, it is nothing but the dimensions of 65 minus 24. We get the value of 41 mm. So mention 41 mm horizontally at the right positions itself. Again, the vertical dimensions is 10 mm. Then close this entire profile on the category. Once we draw complete visible areas, next we need to draw non-visible edges, that is the pocket formations. Look at this one visible edges, but it looks like a non-visible areas on the right hand sections. In right hand section, first I draw on vertical lines simply by using of a line profile. Afterwards we can change the properties also. Look at the top portions, we have a pocket. It is indicated on the top sections also. Let's using a line from the top end, draw on horizontal line profile. It is nothing but the dimensions of 20 mm. Mention that. Then draw on vertical line. It is have the dimensions of 40 mm. So mention that 40 mm. Again draw on a horizontal line. It is 20 mm. Once we draw a line profile, then change its line property. That is, transfer that into a hidden lines. Selecting the previous line property and choose whatever the lines you want to change by using of match properties. The properties is changed. Overall, the right side views are clearly indicated on the right sections of this area. Both the visible edges as well as the non-visible edges clearly indicate. These three different views clearly explains the third angle projections of its way. Thank you. Hi, if you want to learn full AutoCAD course, just to log on to www.kaliru.in. Here, you can not only learn about sketch profiles, you can learn lot of tools, modifying entities, different kind of blocks, commands, and layer properties, lot of different advanced features in this particular sections itself. Take a look on this website and clearly get the syllabus also.